Yo, what's up, guys? So, quick thing, real quick. So, I'm just gonna go over the Power Hour program uh, and the brand new Master Builder cycle that we are starting this week. So, for those of you who don't know, 6 p.m. has been shaky. I'm gonna offer you guys opportunities to do things that we normally don't do, and start to reintroduce some of the programming, some of the exercises and the programming like from before, like snatches, clean and jerks, more base strength work, more bodybuilding type work, especially in this particular cycle. So I've already had a few questions that are like, what is this program versus the Strength Guild Fit program? Uh, Strength Guild Fit is kind of deliberate in its being general, right? So we want to be all encompassing and help as many a broad audience as we possibly can with that program. So we're going to introduce strength movements. So you're going to still get stronger. Always going to be fitness elements every single week. 3 to 4 week cycles is what Caitlin does right now. But that's kind of the target, is to be well-rounded, in good shape, and introduced to as many elements as we can get you introduced to in a short period of time that we have with you. Most people make it to that 2, 3, 4 days a week, which is fine. And that's a great program for that end. And if you just want to cover all bases, if you haven't worked with us on nutrition stuff and you have some sort of body composition goal that you want to hit, then that would be another conversation, but something that you want to start with sooner than later. But the level 3 crew, who has been doing this programming style and this programming up to this point, the goals here are a lot more build strength, and more of a longevity style of program where you're kind of pushing it a little bit and opening yourself up to a little bit more challenge and change in things like weightlifting. So we'll cover snatch, clean, jerk. There will be programming that's related to conditioning, but it's very specific in its build, essentially, right? So we don't do conditioning that's not, if it's not affecting the main program, is not affecting our main goal, then we don't just do random conditioning just cause, right? So we've had a few questions about that. And you're not going to get out of shape from doing a level 3 program, but you won't get out of shape doing virtually any program. If you have body composition goals, that has nothing to do with your programming whatsoever, right? So that's all caloric deficit and nutrition stuff, which you should be working on that with a coach, myself, Caitlin, Jess, all work with you on nutrition stuff. Anytime you guys are ready, we're already in a physiconomy course right now. We have a lot of people who are dropping some pounds, who are doing various programs across the spectrum, right? So the program itself doesn't matter. Weightlifting, Power Hour, which is the adapted level 3, and Strength Guild Fit. None of that matters programming wise if you have body comp goals. But all that matters is that you're in a caloric deficit and that you are training towards some end, right? The goal of this program, especially this particular 12-week cycle, is muscle mass, right? So putting on some lean tissue, going into what I would say is like January, basically. This is kind of the time to build in a more traditional bodybuilding seasonal approach. So virtually every seat. So the first week, what you'll get is, this is kind of the master template. It's just what I write down if I'm like writing it out. But we just talk about the goals, build muscle, and we'll talk about kind of the testing and all that stuff. So high rep squats. See a lot of those. See a lot more high rep deadlifts and strength-based deadlift work, and complexes. So those are kind of the main components of building muscle mass. So that's what we'll work on virtually all the time. Your capacity and aerobic stuff is on maintenance. That doesn't mean you're gonna get out of shape per se. We won't include it at all, but it is definitely on the back seat. If you want to put on some muscle, you got to put the conditioning kind of on the back seat a little bit. But yeah, the goal is never to get out of shape. It's really just kind of keep moving. If you've ever done any of our complexes, you know that that's not easy work, right? Testing wise, you're gonna do a lot of squat rep tests. Those of you getting introduced to weightlifting again, you're going to kind of be in a practice mode on those Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you'll see that, but there's not going to be a whole lot of testing until the end with any of the weightlifting work, snatch and clean and jerk stuff. You'll get a skeleton, which is basically just an overview of what each week will look like. Each day of the week will look like. This may or may not match perfectly all the time because I'll mix it up a little bit sometimes. Just kind of depends. But this is the first week. Weightlifters will be very familiar with the 35 cycle. I literally haven't programmed it for anyone else until now. Level 3 team, power hour crew. This is your job. Also, it's kind of like the LA Chargers, San Diego Chargers. I will accidentally call this the level 3 for at least 2 weeks, especially if I'm doing any videos about stuff. Just give me a little room there. But for the power hour crew who's been doing it up to this point, this will feel a lot. This will feel like a step back a little bit this week because we came out of so much strength work. So you should definitely get a running start on your 35. So start with an easier weight. 70% might be high, so like chill a little bit. But it shouldn't be too crazy to get your 35 in 3 sets, which is the entire goal. 3 sets, 35, get it, you go up next time. The weightlifters, you can ask them. Jess, Janie, I've put them through this like a few times. Erica, who else? I really haven't had a ton of bros go through it, but 15, 12, 8, that's usually what they end up with. Sometimes they'll do more. A lot of times 15, 12, 8 is the strategy. You guys are welcome to try their strategy out or try your own. Up to you. I don't know what the top weights of the gym are to this point. Janie's done it at 231 pounds. So that's the one I know off the top of my head. Jess was at 250. Maybe she's around 250 the last time she did it. So those are the two off the top of my head that I remember. And I think Juan just finished up 160 kilos, so 352 for, I think he got the 15, 12, 8. That was his last weight. So there you go. There are your numbers for the gym. But that's basically what we're after here. There's no heavy single before, unless I tell you specifically that you should do a heavy single before. That'd be you, Eric. And then it's literally just 35 as few as possible. Shout out to Nick Horton. I think he calls this the Supernova Squat Day or whatever. But yeah, basically each time you come to the bar, you're aiming to add a little bit of weight to the bar and still complete the reps in 3 sets or less. If you make it, you go up. If you don't make it, you do the same weight next time or until you do it in 3 or less. So you'll see that in bench press, push press, and strict press. You'll see a lot of reps on those Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Plus the complexes, which will be in both classes, String Gill Fit and Power Hour will be going through the Barbell Complex A, which is the one you guys know of. There's a typo here. So it should be 5 sets of 5. 5 sets of 5. Working to a heavy set of 5 today. But yeah, this is basically the program. You'll have your build days. That's Tuesday, Thursday. Um, After the snatch and clean and jerk work, and then you do have a Metcon, which all of these I will almost always tell you to go at 80% or panda pace and just cruise through them because it's just extra work to get blood flowing. It is not to leave you gasping for air and dying on the ground. Our big targets are the big movements. Almost every single cycle that's going to be true, and very rarely will we test. We'll do some testing here and there of conditioning, strength, and uh, power movements and things like that, but rarely. So, of those components, you'll see 1 to 2 tests per entire 12-week cycle. So, we're not going to test that much. If you don't have the patience to like live through a program, you're going to have to like wait it out or stay with Strength Kill Fit because this programming will be tough and challenging, but you're not going to get that many opportunities to like test everything all the time. So if you don't have the patience for it, don't worry about this program so much. But we will be building on this over time, and each training cycle will look a lot different than the last one, with very few exceptions. We'll have similar templates, but this squat volume, this squat cycle will feel a lot different than the next squat cycle, always, right? Otherwise, that's all I got for you today. If you guys have any questions about this, post them in the comments. Shoot us an email, whatever works for you. All right, peace.